Alright. So what we have here is a compact Rio that controls this motorcycle. We actually replaced the engine control unit of this bike with a compact Rio. We didn't. This was a customer of ours that did this. Again, everything runs on the FPGA. Very, very cool. Alright, now here we have a rocket launch. This was an NI employee who is a rocket enthusiast. It was about over a 2,000-foot high flight, so they had to have a special permit and all this kind of stuff, but they ended up throwing another compact Rio chassis in here, and you can see as on this ascent, as the rocket starts rolling back and forth, this is all controlled by the FPGA, the yaw, pitch, and roll. This was apparently outside of the Secret Service boundary at Camp David. So this is a woman jumping out of a plane. This was the highest altitude parachute ever. This was covered by the National Geographic Channel. We ended up, during one of her test runs, putting a compact Rio chassis in her backpack to kind of log some data and just have some fun with it. Again, just to show off the kind of the rugged aspect of it, I guess. It's a nice looking animation. You can see we were kind of keeping track of her position using gyros and things like this. And there you have her, where that chassis was, and us pulling it out. Alright, here's where we got bored one afternoon, and in order to test the compact Rio when it was in beta, we decided to throw it off of the 8th floor of our building. The compact Rio is rated to 50 Gs, and during this fall it registered over 200 Gs. And ignore the beer in his right hand, you can tell that it was a successful afternoon in general. So this part of the video is nothing too special, just looking at FPGA programming, but I like this song, so I decided not to cut it out. Alright, finally here we have a little bit of a demo. This one, again, probably most of you have seen. We did this at NI Week. We basically a new way to keep table saws safe. We ended up using, or we didn't, again, this is a customer of ours, used compact Rio. They energized the saw blade with a sine wave, and what happens when you touch it, the electrical properties of your skin and your body end up making the amplitude of that sine wave go down, but you could see just before there that wood doesn't really affect it. So you kind of generate a sine wave with the compact Rio, then measure that sine wave back, and you can tell then you can make really, really fast measurements, and you can see that if the amplitude goes down, then you've got a problem. You need to shut that saw blade down right away. So rather than put someone's finger on there, we decided, let's go ahead and use a weenie. Apparently the electrical properties are similar, and you can see as soon as that touches, immediately that saw blade goes down, and instead of a severed finger, you might get a little nick. I'm still a little bummed they didn't actually use someone's finger. And then here, we decided, and it's kind of hard to see here, but we decided to use one of our PCI Express vision cameras and capture the data at a really, really high frame rate to see as soon as that, you can see that just as soon as that blade hits it, the brake gets thrown. And of course this ruins the saw. Okay, here, this is self-explanatory, right, but just really, really neat. Using, again, the PCI Express vision board to capture 1,000 frames a second